Well, holy fuck. Now, if you're gonna do a remake, this is how you fucking do it. Welcome back to the channel. I just finished watching The Society of the Snow on Netflix. And yes, it is in Spanish, so subtitles, you will be doing some reading. Unless you put the English dub version on, and then you don't have to do any reading, but it's not the same, and you can get distracted that way. This way, if you're reading, you're focused the whole movie. So obviously you know what the storyline is if you're here. In 1972, a Christian rugby team, they hire a charter flight and they crash on the way to Chile in the snowy mountains, and it is a remake and a reboot of Alive. Alive from 1993 with good old Ethan Hawke in it, which was a fan-fucking-tastic movie. But I gotta say, this movie, wow. Just fucking wow. So 45 people were on this small plane, and this is a true story, and they absolutely filmed this amazingly. They really get into the visual effects of showing the snow and the mountains. It looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And when all the different things happen, because you've seen Alive, so you know what happens. Like the visual effect when the avalanche comes in and the snow comes in the plane. They're already halfway of their stay on this mountain in the snow, and then more fucking shit has to happen to them, and the visual effects of it, they show the 4 days. It's just fantastic. Of course not fantastic what happened to them. The difference between this and Alive, they don't really, in Alive, they really focused on. I thought in Alive they really made us hate some of the characters. I really wanted to punch a lot of the fucking characters in the fucking head. When you watch Alive, they make a lot of the characters assholes. In this one, I liked every character. They're real people. I like them all. In the end, you like everyone that's on this. You don't have the scene that's in Alive where it's like, shut that bitch up, shut her up, and then she dies the next morning. This one, you just, oh, that lady that was screaming last night died. Cool. We didn't have to fucking see that bit because they want to focus more on the fucking survival and the courage of them all, fucking being in there together. Fuck, it made me want to have a cigarette. I was dying for a fucking durry. It's crazy how they explain the whole, they're pissing black piss. I didn't know anything about black piss. Apparently that's from dehydration, so drink your water, kiddies, or you will piss black piss. After the plane crash, half are fucking still on the plane, and then after the 2-3 months that they're there on the snow, yeah, it's a fight for survival and they're dropping off one by one. As you know, in Alive, they like to say that they're cannibals. Well, in my opinion, they're not cannibals. They're just eating the bodies to survive. And holy shit, I went and had a look at the fucking photos, the real photos. And the photos of the fucking ribs and all that, of the bodies that they were eating is legit in some of the fucking real pictures. So they went down to the ribs. They really fucking, they really chowed down on those other friggin' dead bodies. As you would to survive, you needed to. The way it was filmed was great, them trying to find the battery in the back of the plane, which we all seen on Alive as well, but I think this was done better. But the best part about this movie that I really thought, and it goes for 2.5 hours, and you think, how the fuck can this actually go for 2.5 hours? I was thinking, how am I gonna read all this crap for 2.5 hours and not get bored? But I didn't get bored at all. It was just absolute pleasure watching this fucking film. But what I loved the most about this movie was the ending. The ending was fantastic. So we all know the two of them, they go fucking walking for 10 days until they find dry land. In the Alive movie, that's where we finish off and they come and rescue the guys, and that's where you get the most famous photo of all of them waving and wanting to get rescued. Fantastic moment, fucking excellent. And they capture all that in this as well, but you get an extra half an hour of after those two guys get found of them going to the hospitals, them getting rescued, them the rest of them going to the hospital, them watching them have a feed after fucking so long of not having a feed. It was just so great sitting there watching it. Made me want to have some hot fucking soup and bread and human meat. The plane crash, holy shit, the plane crash is insane. The moment that plane goes down and they're on board, that is wicked the way they have filmed it. The visual effect of the plane fucking breaking and the tail coming off is totally different to Alive. When you see one by one, the guys getting sucked out by the chair by chair by chair. This is more of probably what would have happened. And when it crashes, seeing the bones break and fucking heads smashed together and all that, holy shit, made me not want to go on a small charter plane. But that plane scene was fucking great. It's so good, so much better than Alive. And like I said, I like Alive. I think Alive's great. So even though there's a lot redone from Alive, they really focus on a lot more stuff, which is really good, and it's fucking longer as well. I do recommend watching it with the fucking subtitles, because then you won't get distracted with your fucking phones and all that shit. You'll really be focusing on what they're saying. There's nothing like hearing a bit of Spanish in your background while you're reading words. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't tell you too much about the cast and can't tell you too much about the director, because I know fuck all about them, because they're all Spanish and all that shit, so fuck knows. But I know it's on Netflix and you can watch it now. But the acting was very good, and like I said, visual is fantastic of all the mountains and the plane crashing. It's just fucking awesome. You need to watch this ASAP. I give this 10 out of 10 blood popcorns. I do not like giving 10 out of 10s. I hardly ever give 10 out of 10s. I don't like giving 10 out of 10s. This is a 10 out of 10. I fucking loved it, and I will watch it again. Maybe I'll watch it again with the English dubbed version next time. But I'm glad I watched the Spanish version first. Definitely glad I watched the Spanish version first. 100% this is a 10 out of 10. Got heaps of shit on this channel. Like, subscribe, do what the fuck you want. I'm on Instagram as well, Blood Popcorn 1. We got some heaps of shit coming out this year, man. Heaps of reviews. I'm glad I finally got a fucking good movie to start the year off. Well, the second movie I watched this year is good. The first one, fucking Night Swim. Go watch that review. Fuck, that was a pile of dog shit. But this was a fucking masterpiece, and has made me want to go watch interviews with people that have survived. And I'm going to now. It's hot as balls in here, and I'm feeling fucking crook still, so see yous all later. See you.